welcome to Stutor. In today's session, we are going to deal with Class 11 Business Studies. The Unit 2 of Class 11 Business Studies majorly deals with the different types of business structures found all around the world. You might have definitely heard of few among those, like the partnership, company, both the private and public limited companies, and then comes sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is wherein which it is owned and operated by a single person. That means if the company was to face loss, he'll be responsible or he'll be liable for that. And if the company was to earn profit, he'll be the sole person to enjoy the profit. And he is responsible for all the activities of the company. Another form of business structure found in India alone, and moreover it's one of the oldest form of business structure, that is none other than Hindu Undivided Family Business. Hindu Undivided Family Business is administered under the Hindu law. Moreover, for the formation of a Hindu Undivided Family Business, there must be at least 2 members in a family. The important thing is there should be ancestral property. There is no sort of agreement to be a member of the Hindu Undivided Family Business, which means that when a child is born into that family, that particular family, he or she immediately becomes a member of the Hindu Undivided Family Business. Before I go deeper into the characteristics, merits and demerits of the HUF, there are 2 important terms you need to know about. The first one is Karta. Karta is the eldest person who owns it, which means just like a position of a CEO in a company, his position is similar to that, which means that he runs a company, he takes up all the important decisions. Just think a family with 4 children. The eldest one, that is the first one, will eventually become the Karta. He is the sole person who becomes a Karta. Then the remaining 3 would be the co-passiners. Hence, Karta is the eldest one, or the one who takes up the decision, the one who is responsible for all the activities of the business, and the remaining are the co-passiners, who are the remaining members. Okay, before that, let me explain to you about Dayabhaga and Methoxy system. Dayabhaga system is majorly found in West Bengal and Assam, where both the male and female have an equal right over the property, over the ancestral property, and they can become the co-passiners. It's only found in West Bengal and Assam. One is the Methoxy system. Methoxy system is commonly found in states apart from West Bengal and Assam. And under the Methoxy system, only the male have the right to be the co-passiners, and only he has the right over the ancestral property. So let's go to the characteristics. The first one on the characteristics is formation. As I have already said in the beginning, that for the formation of a Hindu Undivided Family Business, there must be ancestral property, there must be at least 2 members in a family, and 3 successive generations can become a member in the Hindu Undivided Family Business. So hence that's the formation. And the next one is control. Since there are Karta and co-passiners, Karta has a sole control over the Hindu Undivided Family Business. Even though the co-passiners have equal rights over the property of the Hindu Undivided Family Business, but the case of Karta is different. He is the sole person, the eldest person in whom the entire control resides. The next one is liability. Speaking about the liability of the Karta as well as the co-passiners. The Karta's liability is unlimited. That means if in case the Hindu Undivided Family Business is facing any sort of loss, the Karta the shares of the Karta and his assets will be liable. Whereas the case of co-passiners, their liability is limited to the number of shares they own in the family business. The next one is continuity. Continuity of a family business. You might be thinking that what happens if the Karta passes away or he faces any sort of illness. So, it doesn't mean that if the Karta passes away, the complete company will dissolve. If the Karta passes away, the Karta I have already said is the eldest member. If he passes away, the next eldest member, that is the one younger to the Karta, would immediately take up the position of the Karta. Moreover, if the co-passiners wish to dissolve the business, with a mutual agreement, they can dissolve the entire business. And the last one in the characteristics is minor members. I have said in the beginning that there's no agreement to be a member of the Hindu Undivided family business. Right when a child is born into that family, he or she will immediately become the member of the Hindu Undivided family business. Hence, minor member can also be a co-partner in the Hindu Undivided family business. Now let's look into the merits of the HUF. The first one is effective control. Since the Karta is the one who runs the business, who takes up the entire decision, which means that nobody is bound to question the Karta regarding his decision, and hence this would lead to quick decision making, which would be very useful for the business. The next one is continued existence, which continued existence, that is, even if the Karta passes away, the next eldest person can take up the position of the Karta, which means that there would be no sort of hindrance to the business. The business would carry on as it is, which means there would be no sort of instability in the business. The next one is limited liability of the members. The liability of the members, since the members, that is the co-partners, their liability is limited as per their share over the property. That is as per their number of share over the property. But that's not the case of the Karta. The Karta's liability is unlimited. That we'll speak about later in the demerits. The next one is expanded loyalty and cooperation. Since this is run by a family, a joint Hindu undivided family, there would be enough cooperation and loyalty among the members, which would be easy to carry on the business since conflict would be comparatively less because this is one family. Now let's move on to demerits of HUF. The first one is limited resources. Since the entire capital of the business is dependent upon the ancestral property, it leads to limited resources. And moreover, if the company is facing any sort of loss, commercial banks would not be ready to lend credit to them. The next one is dominance of Karta. Dominance of Karta can also lead to conflict, which means that Karta is a sole person who handles the business, who carry on the decision. But there might be times when the co-partners would be against the decision took by the Karta, or maybe it can be said that the Karta won't be ready to accept their advice, which can eventually lead to family problems, conflicts, and which at last may be the reason for the entire business to break down. The next one is unlimited liability of the Karta. Since the burden of the decision-making burden is already on the heads of the Karta, the next one is the unlimited liability. That is, if the business is facing losses, the Karta's private assets, personal assets, would be liable. That means he may have to sell his personal assets to face these losses. And that's another burden too. And the next one is limited managerial skill. This is one of the major hindrance to the proper running of the Hindu Undivided family business. It doesn't mean since he is a Karta or he is the eldest one, it doesn't mean that he would be expert in every field. There are different managerial fields, which means that he would be expert in few fields, but in few he would be lacking, which would eventually affect the decision making and the entire business. That's all about the demerits. And speaking about the examples of Hindu Undivided family business, Tata Group and the Haldirams are few major examples. The Ambanis or the Reliance Group used to be, and there are certain such examples which have broken and which used to be Hindu Undivided family business, but it's broken. And Hindu Undivided family business are not quite found too much these days. That's all. Thank you.